I like the way you use the term, like it cuts the time that you get to your flow state. I think that's a really interesting perspective. And I think like we share with each other, right? Like the benchmark has increased. The standard has increased. So I think even the same for classroom, right? Let's say teachers reading essays. Before then, like they were reading some sort of like maybe, kids childish style of like writing essays. But now since like teachers they might know kids can use ChatGPT, like they also increase the standard. Okay, now what's going to differentiate their students' voices from ChatGPT? So again, like the teachers are expecting the kids to go from this benchmark to reaching a more well-rounded, perfect level. So I think that's also like the way that AI can help shape kids' learning and teachers basically creating things in school.
So, welcome everyone. My name is Avinash Bansil, and I am the co founder of TomoClub. And today, on our Leaders for Tomorrow podcast series, we have a very interesting guest. Till now, we have always been podcasting with school leaders, head of schools, superintendents. But I thought it's going to be very refreshing and very relevant to have a student um, being a guest today. And we have Doy. He's a student at Michigan State University, where he is studying supply chain management. And he's originally from Vietnam, and then he migrated to did his high schooling in US and now graduation. And his journey actually goes far beyond the classroom. He's already being a co-founder of Doorian Labs, and where he's helping non-technical founders turn ideas into real products. He's founder of Comma Story, a storytelling venture. Um, I think Doi has worked across different continents, different companies. So I think it's going to be very exciting to understand what he is building and how education shaped him today, right? Whether it is from career readiness point of view, entrepreneurship, and the rise of AI as a trend, and also like a toolkit. So I think I'm pretty excited about today's conversation. So welcome to the podcast, Doi.
Hey, thank you, Avinash. Yeah, super excited to be on a podcast today and to share my opinions about, education, career, readiness, and chit chat, having fun with you and, the guest. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So today you have a chance to, address a lot of teachers and
Oh yeah.
superintendents. So
This gonna be fun.
tables have turned today, and I'm pretty sure,
Oh yeah.
they're also very excited to listen to students' opinions, especially after they have college, because I think this is a renaissance period for education right now, because whether it is careers, whether it is teaching methodologies, whether
Mm,
that very definition of schools is under a microscope right now, and
mm,
all the schools, they have one simple goal initially, that to get their standardized test scores up, or to prepare schools, students for colleges.
mm.
But even
That's true,
that
yeah.
definition is changing. Even right now, the definition of career is so much under transformation. So
Yes.
student perspective is very powerful right now, and I believe they're one of the most important stakeholders when you
Hmm.
actually are designing your school policy. So yeah, would love to know if you can give a background about yourself as well, your journey till now.
Yeah, sure. First of all, like you said, I've been in the States for the past 6, 7 years. Basically, I came to US for high school. Went to high school in Atlanta, Georgia, at a very beautiful school called Bretton Hall School. And then I got a full ride scholarship to Michigan State University, where I learned supply chain management. So throughout my college journey, I've been through different, stages, doing multiple internships and also like having my own startups. Basically, one of the really interesting thought I had before going to college was like, okay, I'm going to college now. So what should be the next step for me? Like, do I want to be, like going to school and then getting a career that, the majority of people like do the same, or do I want to learn something new and try something like, outside the box? And for me, at the age of like, 18, 19, and now I'm 21, I feel like it's really important, and then it really matters to me that I learn something new, expand my comfort zone. So that led me to build multiple startups. I have like built, I have failed, and I have, come back up again. And I've also like traveled abroad as well to basically study abroad, learn from different cultures and people. So far, I would say like my college experience has been truly amazing, meeting new people, learning cultures, and then just basically doing different things. And I think that's like the beauty of um, being a student and youth at this stage, learning new things and exploring and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And nobody could say the way you're talking that you are a graduate student. I think so. I'm pretty sure running your own company, when you're building something, it actually adds a different layer of maturity in you, and this is very much visible. But I think since you just mentioned about your journey, I would love you to reflect back and think, what's that one skill you wish you had in school, or something that school should have prepared you for, but you have to build it later on by yourself.
This is like I would say something that it came from me more than like from what I've seen among people, but because like I come from Vietnam, um, going to the US at the first stage is hard already. Like it's super difficult. Um, gonna learn how to survive in the States, basically how to do the tedious things like grocery stores and stuff like that, to dealing with like bigger things, which is communication. And one thing that like the question you asked was I really wish that I could learn more about communicating with people, like how to communicate in English specifically, like really well with people, convey my ideas so that people understand. And it's really interesting that like when I got to college, there were these sort of like communications classes for business school that are required. So we had to take like these business communication classes to just improve how to talk and present, in front of people. And it's not until college that I learned that basically like 70-80% of students struggle with like communications every day. And it's just like, basic communication with, let's say, you having a chat with an employer or having an interview or basically just networking. And I feel like those are the skills that could have been built and basically taught in high school. So that when students get to college, they have like some sort of like soft skill prepare just to talk with people. Like, talk confidently, talk without having to think twice or whatsoever. Like it's like a common sense thing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
meeting people and then just like talk like that. So that's one thing I've basically learned that's like really interesting.
And that's actually weird and as well as good that at least somebody's preparing for that skill, if not
Yeah.
way. But uh, like, tell me about it. How many students actually enroll into that class, and is it is it only for those coming up whose English is a second language, or also people with first language?
No, it's not actually, which is like why it's interesting. So all the business students are required to take a class in my college. It's called like it's within the Department of Marketing, but then it's like one of the very core class that students have to take. So every single international and even domestic students has to take the class.
Okay.
And when we have like group discussions and like group projects, that's when I kind of learn that even domestic students struggle with communications a lot. Like they can be really cool with like chatting with their friends or having like conversations like this, right? But then when it comes to some sort of like bigger matters, like interview presentations or pitching, um, they kind of struggle,
Yeah.
which is like really amazing and really interesting problem to see.
No, I agree with you. I think that should be taught earlier, specifically since a lot of students are not opting in for college as a
Mm,
career choice. So, and a lot of conversation about vocational training, or
mm,
actually career preparedness in school
mm.
is a big topic. And so I would want to know what kind of teachers used to stand out for you, in general, like what were the qualities that about a teacher that you love?
Really good question. back in high school, I had this like, I mean, I've had like amazing teachers, but then um, there are two people that really stand out to me, and I'm still friends with them until today, which is like truly amazing. One of them he is like my AP physics teacher back in my sophomore year. You know, like I came to US in sophomore year, so I kind of it was like completely new to me, like the experiences, things like that. And Mr. Cruz, his name. He treated me like I've been in the States for years, which is like something that I would say really matters to me because like unlike other teachers who kind of treat me like an international student,
Hmm.
coming from another country and hey, like how you feel like coming to the States. He just like thinks that I've been in the States for years and like I'm a domestic student. So I feel like that really broke the barrier for me.
Hmm.
It really helped me shape like my perspective. Like, okay, I'm not treated like a foreigner. I'm treated like a true student.
Hmm.
Um, and then with the second teacher, his name is Strickland. He taught me Spanish in high school, and the way that he approached the classes was super creative. There were not that many like handouts or many um assignments that I on paper, but like most of the lessons were basically YouTube videos of kids dancing or kids speaking Spanish, and I feel like creativity is something truly important. So I would say like I myself, I'm a creative person, so I'm drawn to teachers and people that are creative in terms of their teaching, in terms of their language, and in terms of like how they approach the classes and the students. So yeah, like you know, those are like the kind of attributes that I feel like really helped me with my high school journey.
No, I have a very interesting story of my own. So
Really, wow.
I had one social science teacher, and
Uh-huh.
back in eighth grade, and I still talk to her. I even invited her to my wedding, and
Really, wow.
and you know what? Like she was not the most popular among students because
Uh-huh.
other students used to feel like she rushes through the curriculum, or she they didn't like her teaching style. But
Hmm.
I think I really liked because she used to not coddle us. She used to be uh, treat us like mature adults and
Yeah.
talk to us. The way she was explaining, she was not wasting time on something very obvious. And
Uh-huh.
I think back in eighth grade, students were still children in their head, so they wanted a little bit more, I would say, hand holding. And
Hmm.
her being a little bit more mature was something that I really liked. And so yeah, and that's what I say, that every teacher and every student is a unique relationship. So somebody who I like may not be liked by others, and vice versa.
You're right. Yeah.
So it's how you connect. And I really like your story, and now the way Mr. Cruz has been treating you also very regularly. It's not like the other teachers are mistreating you, but
Hmm.
that sense of belongingness is so important uh,
Mm.
for anyone to thrive.
Yeah, that's true. I like the word you use, like that sense of belongingness. Like I think it really is important. Like you said, you're right. It's like some teachers appear to be like super likable, but then some are not. It depends on the students. But then I feel like with my stories and also your stories, like I feel the teachers they have done the best job they can to basically be flexible with like each student. So I feel like Mr. Cruz, like for me and even Mr. Strickland, like some kids may not like them because like, like their way of learning might be different. But that's also like one thing that's like I feel like really important for teachers in high school is that, and not just high school, but also in college. And that's because like kids have different learning style.
Yeah.
So they cannot be like one shape, and then teachers cannot shape them all to the same shape. Um, they gotta be like flexible. So I think that's like really, really important.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, since you have stepped into a college, and I think you're almost about
Yeah.
to graduate next year, right? Or this year you're going to graduate.
Yeah, I'll graduate in May this year, actually.
Okay. So you are at the right intersection of explaining this. which career do you think is flourishing? What kind of job or career you feel is real in the next decade, and what do you think is a career which is going to disappear?
That's a really interesting question. For me, like I have like sort of different perspective when it comes to jobs that are like flourishing or, disappearing. Like I feel like there are so many people feeling afraid of AI. Like, with the rise of AI and technology in today's age, people are afraid that, okay, like AI is gonna take my job, AI is gonna destroy my job, and it's gonna, replace me whatsoever. For me, I have a sort of more interesting and different perspective is that first of all, for me, AI is not it's not as smart as people, as human.
Mm.
Because like human, we build AI, we shape how AI thinks. So for me, AI, the only good thing about AI is that like they can do job like faster than human. They can handle like multitasking way better than human. And because like we are human are constructed to basically do one thing super well, but like technology can handle like multiple things at a time. So for me, instead of like being really afraid of AI or being scared of like AI being replacing the jobs, I would say people should treat AI as their companion and basically think of them as tools and as friends to help improve the job. So even though like there might be jobs that can be replaced, let's say writing, for example, AI has been writing in a way that, excels really, really, really good in writing. Like in the past, like it takes people, hours to go from level 0 to level 6 in writing.
Yeah.
But then with AI nowadays, they can do that level 6 in 10 minutes or like, in seconds. But now the next step I think is that because like we now have AI, the standard of people accepting and feeling good about things also increases. Like AI has increased that standard, so it's humans' job basically to go from 6 to now 9 and 10 level. So I think that like even though there might be jobs again that could be replaced, but then creativity is something AI cannot do as well as human do. So
Mm.
um I think that's my answer. Basically, like I don't feel like I feel really optimistic about this AI thingy, and it's really going to help people flourish in the future and basically improve their efficiency. And then as long as people can compete on creativity, then it's gonna be fine.
No, I agree with you. The benchmark has gone up. The other
Yeah.
day, I was actually judging an entrepreneurship competition in a high school,
Wow.
and I was like amazed because those high school students. So first of all, every kind of dashboard they were building, they were
Mhm.
all way beyond, I would say, the first version of Meta or the first version of Facebook or any other demo app that we used to see. They were way
Uh,
beyond that, right? And they were working prototypes. All the softwares were working prototypes. Even the
mm,
presentations, everyone was using any AI tool to build the presentation. So the the aesthetics has gone way up. The way they were articulating themselves, because they were
mm.
using AI to articulate their pitches, they were way beyond. So, but then I thought that I was judging. So there were like 60 teams that I had to evaluate, and
Uh,
because the basic benchmark has gone up, that doesn't make everyone same. In my head, it's just that the competition has started from here rather than here, and
you're right.
and
Yes.
and I'm evaluating kids now way beyond. But the downside is that the equity gap between AI haves and AI have nots, that's
Mm.
very, very visible, and that's scary because the students who are not using AI, they were automatically getting rejected, I would say, because
Oh, yeah.
because it's not like I'm rejecting because they're not so polished in their
Mm.
presentation or in their demos or in their tools. So the idea is that not having AI is gonna actually make you more faster obsolete.
Yeah, you're right. And this is really interesting when it comes to some technology tools that is transforming society as a whole.
Yeah.
Um, we could think of this like one of the stories that I kind of think about is like back in the days, like in the early 18th century, we had this transformational industrial revolution where the very first like sewing machine was,
Mm.
was invented. And then in early 20th century, we have like internet, computers, internet, and then phones that are again transforming the entire, like the entire world. And now AI. And when it comes to those like technological, transformation, there will always be two perspectives and two reactions. One way is like super open, and people are super open to try new things, and then be more adaptive. And then the other side is people that are kind of, like, okay, suspicious of like these tools. Like, okay, is that gonna, change my life in a bad way? Is it going to like kill me and whatsoever? But then at the end of the day, like people are still going to have to adapt,
Mm.
right? Like now it's really hard to find a person who doesn't use a phone or who doesn't use a computer or who doesn't even use the internet because like it's so worldwide, it's so widespread nowadays. So I think I agree with you on the point that like not having AI, it's in the future can be kind of not like dangerous, but like can put an individual in a lower this in a lower advantageous stage, like it's kind of disadvantageous. So I agree with you on that point. Yeah, I think that's really really amazing perspective when we think about like AI.
But at the same time, I'll tell you my other point of view.
Uh-huh.
With AI specifically, calling it just a tool may also be coming from a little ignorance, because
Mhm.
at least this technology piece is, I don't think so it can be compared to the history. So
Uh-huh.
it's something actually very different. And I'm a big believer that the way companies are investing, the way the tech billionaires are racing towards it, the AGI
Uh-huh.
possibility is not very far in my head. Um,
Yeah.
and if that
Yeah.
really comes with agentic AI, the creativity and even that kind of skills, because
Hmm.
if we say that everything is predictive outcomes, right? So
Hmm.
we as humans are also, so in general there is nothing original. We as humans also are building on something that we have seen or that we have observed, and our research actually means research. So we are not, nothing is original in my opinion in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So in that way, can we be beaten up in creativity? Who knows? So
Hmm.
but I understand that there is a need for upskilling yourself, and people who will upskill will still be relevant. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being a very neutral and realistic
Uh-huh.
overall.
Uh-huh.
I'm not
Yeah.
definitely not pessimistic, but I'm definitely at the same time taking everything with a pinch of salt. um,
Yeah.
because
I can
it can go
feel
out of
that, yeah.
hands. It can go out of hands.
Uh-huh.
I
You
also know.
you're right. Yeah,
So,
you're right. But yeah, I feel like it really is going to change how people. I mean, it's already changing how people live, right? Like back in the days, we used Google as our main search engine, but now like kids basically they use like ChatGPT, and I think we're going to like a stage where kids don't even know what Google is anymore. They just like ChatGPT anything, like
yeah.
like they need some sort of like medicine, or they need to know where to travel, where to study, or like what to do, things like that. They're just going to ChatGPT. So, which is like really amazing, to be honest.
And
Yeah.
at least because ChatGPT came in 2023, so it's not that long ago, and
Hmm.
that's why the adoption is insane. Like, what it took other companies a decade to reach that
Hmm.
usage. ChatGPT has like, or other AI products have like been used by a billion people right now, which is
It's true. Yeah, it's
unfathomable.
true. Yeah, which is like insane. Like I feel like it's going to change people's life forever.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty like kind of cool view to think about AI.
So tell me about how do you use AI in your studies or in your projects?
Oh,
Um, also,
yeah.
also, also, do you think it actually makes you learn better? Because there's a concern, and I think
Mhm.
legit concern also, that it can actually cause a loss of critical thinking because it is
Mm,
just dumb copying pasting. So there's a need of a lot of ethical and responsible usage as well. So
yeah.
wanna make you think on those lines. Do you think it really makes your learning better?
Here's like here's my honest review. Like I've seen like so from my cases and then my friends' cases, for me it truly helps. So one of the example I can tell you right now is like I used to hate coding.
Hmm.
Like coding used to be like my really, really bad enemy. And then
Hmm.
it feels like we were traveling on the parallel way, but like we never met each other. I hate it so bad. Like my my eighth grade, I had like this coding class. We used like Pascal, which is a really, really old coding page. And it was so disgustingly looking that I didn't even want to use it.
Hmm.
Like it looks so bad. And then college, my freshman year, I had this computer science class that is like compulsory for business majors, which is like kind of stupid. I don't know why. We had to learn Python.
Hmm.
And again, I didn't like I found the class like not really helping with my career, so I basically dumped it. And I almost failed the class. But then now with like the rise of AI, like I decided to give coding a shot. Like, okay, it can help me code that like right now. So what if I try?
Hmm.
And I started using like ChatGPT and other coding tools like, Cursor and things like that to help me, like people use the term vibe code, and I kind of vibe code as well. But then through vibe coding, I've started to learn, okay, what coding is like.
Hmm.
What are these things? Like, what are some stacks? What are some like technology tools? And now I would say I'm a lot more comfortable with coding, and I can code a completely, finished web page and even an app
Hmm.
in like, you know, in a matter of time. So personally, like it really helps me, not just in coding, but also like how I use it every day. Like I use it for my classes, and then I use it for my projects as well. Like okay, I needed help with like brainstorming the ideas or how to write something, let's say an essay, right? I will use ChatGPT, but then I feel like the key thing that really differentiates me and then my friends and some other people in terms of like if AI it's really helping or not, or if it's like, you know, allowing me to learn better, it comes from me being conscious about this thing that okay, I have this AI tool helping me again getting a 6 out of 10. Now it's my job to take that 6 to 9 or 10 level.
Right.
So for me, like putting creativity and putting my own thoughts into the work really matters. And that's why for me it's been really helping. Now there are cases where kids like, the concern is true that kids just like use ChatGPT and have all the homework done and that's it.
Hmm.
Um, and that's kind of dangerous as well. Like it in some sort of way it kind of took away the critical thinking skill of the students. Um, so that's why I feel like having my own consciousness with AI like really helps, and it allows me to bring my own creativity to work.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's what I think about, using AI and if it's help or not.
No, I agree with you. I'll give you my own personal take also on this. If
Uh,
if I calculate my entire workday, um, the problem. Oh, okay. How do I define a productive workday is when I get into a flow state and get into a
mhm,
flow state where you are actually in the zone, you're thinking about problem statement from all angles and you being
mhm,
actually creative about it. It used to
mhm,
take a lot more activation energy to get into that
mhm.
flow state, but AI has actually reduced that activation energy easily from 1 or 2 hours to 10 minutes. So let's say
That
if
is
I
true.
have to solve a problem, right? If I have to
Uh,
discuss about this podcasting only, right? Uh,
mhm,
if I just ask ChatGPT that, hey, I'm gonna podcast with Doy, give me 10 questions,
uh,
and I'm done with it. That will not work it out because it will not be my original thoughts. But
mm,
before this podcast, I actually talked to ChatGPT that, hey, give me a few questions.
uh,
But it got me into a state where I started now thinking that what perspective of DOI is going to be relevant for schools.
mhm, mhm,
Asking. So just cutting down my time to get into the flow state is the biggest part I find with AI. And
Mm.
yeah, I think if would have stopped my job at just taking those 10 questions and just asking you like a robot,
Mm.
that would not
Yeah,
make sense. But the moment
yeah,
I
you're right.
started giving
Mm.
my own thoughts to it, then it's AI is a helper and not just a shortcut.
Yeah. I like the way you use the term, like it cuts the time that you get to your flow state. I think that's a really interesting perspective. And I think like we share with each other, right? Like the benchmark has increased.
Hmm.
You know, the standard has increased. So I think even the same for classroom, right? Let's say teachers reading essays. Before then, like they were reading some sort of like maybe, kids childish style of like writing essays. But now since like teachers they might know kids can use ChatGPT, like they also increase the standard. Okay, now what's going to differentiate their students' voices from ChatGPT? So again, like the teachers are expecting the kids to go from this benchmark to reaching a more well-rounded perfect level. So I think that's also like the way that AI can help shape kids' learning and teachers basically creating things in school.
Also, adding to your point, I would love to understand, um, like again, coming back to schools, one of the clear objective of a school is to get students career ready. So
Mm.
in this regard, how would you explain how much career readiness you got from school,
Mm.
and what does it mean to you to be actually career ready at a school level?
You know, one of the really, really great things about schools in the States compared to when my experience in Vietnam was that um, schools here allow me to be engaged in more activities and more clubs where I can find my hobbies, where I can find, what do I like to do in my free time or basically things like that. And it's not that like in Vietnam we don't have those clubs. We do, like schools in Vietnam have those clubs, but then the amount of time that kids spend time in those clubs is really, really tiny compared to kids here in the States. Schools in Vietnam, like, okay, they go to school from 7 all the way to like 4 in the afternoon. And some kids they do have like extra classes in the evening until like 9, 10 p.m. And that they call it a day. But then kids here, like they start school at like 8, 9 a.m.
Mhm.
and at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So they have like a huge amount of time after that to basically be engaged in activities and clubs. So I think the environment itself has already kind of shaped the student to think of like career in the long term.
Mm.
Kids that like doing computer thing, they can think of the computer science after school, and that might be their major for college. And for me, I've always been about like business. So I have my own business back in seventh, eighth grade. Um, yeah, my first business back then. And all the time, like, throughout my school journey, it's all about, business and basically again making money, right? So that's why I choose business. Now, when it comes to career readiness for school's perspective, um, from my experience in high school, I believe like, more jobs could have been done better. Because again, like I'm able to find my own clubs and my own hobbies, but not many kids do.
Mm.
And I've seen that kind of problem with like so many students who kind of struggle with like finding their clubs or finding what they like to do in their free time. If they actually do engage in real activities like, okay, kind of academic, or they just like spend their free time playing games and things like that. And I feel like that's something that schools could have done better because like again, every single student has their own, perspective and their own thought. And it really takes time for kids to basically learn and then, help them understand the journey ahead of them. So again, that's something like I feel like schools could have done better. Um, so yeah, I think that's like how I view in terms of like career readiness, like for school, like from high school to college.
Can you give me more tangible outcome? Like how would you do it? Let's say if you were today you're running a school, okay, and now
It's
you want the kids to be more career ready. What changes would you bring?
it's kind of hard. Like
It is a
You
hard
know,
problem for us.
yeah, it really is a hard problem because there are so many kids going to college with like the major of undecided major.
Hmm.
And I think there's like a fair number of percentages of kids switching majors in college because they find their initial major not fitting them or not, compatible to their long-term journey. So even though like I don't know, that's a good question. So um I feel like conversations really matters. So
Hmm.
having like college counselor in school, talking to kids more,
Hmm.
just to basically learn what they like, right? And nowadays, like again with AI and then with technology and with tools around even like Instagram, TikTok, right?
Hmm.
More careers are open, and there are now more opportunities for careers like even creators, content creators. It's a career nowadays.
Yeah.
So even like music producers, right? Um, some kids may like money, may like business, so they can choose business. Some kids have the interest in art. They can choose to be like an artist, or like they just do paintings and then post them on TikTok and then get some money out of TikTok and people watching the videos. Some kids may like making content, right? And some kids may like talking to people so they can think of like, okay, different careers in terms of that. Now, for me, I would say it's the college counselor job to have more conversations with the students to understand like what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and kind of guide them to the path that might be the best for them. Now, it's on the student's decision at the end of the day, but then um, again, college counselors can be, their the headlines can have a head start for them to lead them through the right direction. So I feel like through conversations and then through understanding,
Hmm.
and then being open with different kinds of careers. Careers not just, like business or marketing or technology. It's now like, really widespread and it's really open. Um, so yeah, that's what I think.
So, building on to your point, what do you think the school AI policy should be?
AI.
Yeah, what should be the
Um,
policy around AI for the students' usage, for teachers' usage? How would you make it? Again, hypothetically, you are head of school. What would be your AI policy?
I will be really open to it. Like really, really open. Like to the point where, I mean, like, you know, as long as kids don't use that for exams or use that for quizzes or anything, they can be free with like using AI tools and to explore different things, right? Um, you know, like, uh, yeah, like because like we're in a stage where AI has been helping people a lot, and it's not just about like ideas, but also like making decisions. And AI can help people formalize their thoughts in a way that it's really understandable and really reasoning and rational. I feel like having AIs in education in schools can be really beneficial for, let's say, for teachers. They can understand the students more.
Hmm.
Let's say they have different classes and like each class has like 20, 30 kids. And it's kind of hard to like understand all of them or like kind of manage all of them. Then AI can be that tool and that person to sort of like, okay, understand all of the students' behaviors. For students, they can use that to learn more about the careers. They can use that to basically have the AI, build kind of like a small curriculum. Like, okay, I want to learn more about this career. Like, what should I do?
Hmm.
Uh, but there should also be a policy where both the teachers and the students should be really conscious about AI.
Hmm.
They should be conscious about like what they use it for, how they use it, and I feel like the how is really important. There should be like some sort of like AI person in the school or like even the head of school helping the kids and helping the teachers understand how to use AI consciously, like I said, without abusing it or without, like exploiting it.
Oh, I love
Uh,
that answer. What do you think about the negative side of AI? So, like, you know, use of deep fakes can be very, very common to use from
yeah.
bullying, or let's say, uh, having AI companion, like a love relationship with an AI. You must have heard it, right?
Oh.
Making AI girlfriends and AI boyfriends, or use of AI for frauds or for scams is something which is definitely going to is increasing. So
It really is,
people
yeah.
are talking about their mental health with AI, and AI, you must have heard some stories that it has guided people to actually commit suicide. So there's a negative angle attached to the entire AI usage as well.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts on it? Have you seen around yourself people having AI girlfriend boyfriends?
That's weird. I haven't seen it, but I have heard stories of it, and
Hmm.
it's I wouldn't say it's weird, but like it's kind of interesting that like people have kind of some sort of like emotional relationship with like a tech tool, and you know yeah, there absolutely or negative things about AI, like the same with like technological advancement like phones and internet, right? And I feel like with people having more accessibility to tools like this and having more opportunities to be engaged in with high-end tool, like not like high-end, but like accessible tools like AI, then there also be like negative things. Um, Deepfakes is one of them, true. Deepfake fraud, scams, it's happened a lot. Um, Mental health, yes. And I mean, personally, I haven't like around me, I haven't seen so much of it. I've only seen like scam. Like scam is probably the most, AI thing, negative thing that I've seen a lot. Not just like here in the States, but also in the country where people just like using deepfake, images and voices and scamming people around. It's kind of sad to see that.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know, like my honest opinion is that like it's better just be like really optimistic about it because like even the internet when it first came to you know society and the phone, right, like there were people using it for bad purposes or there were even like negative impacts of it, but then people are becoming more open to it nowadays. So I feel like people should have the same perspective when it comes to AI. And now tracing back to the field of education and career readiness, right? um I'm really sure that like the majority of school principals and people are scared of kids using AI to cheat on the exams. Cheating is bad, true, you
Mhm.
know, but then with cheating then and AI things, there should be kind of more creative ways to do exams, right? Uh, Back in the days, kids were not allowed to use calculators, for example, but now they can use calculators, and there's also a tool that helps kids do math faster. Would people call it cheating? No, right? It's not cheating. It's just that like, it's a tool to help kids do things faster. It's the same thing with AI. Like nowadays, people think of it as like a cheating tool, but in the near future, when more people and obviously more kids having access to AI, then it won't be cheating anymore. And as long as the teachers have kind of more creative ways to, you know, to do exams for students.
Yeah.
And the same thing with like career readiness, right? Like at today's day, like people think SAT and ACT scores like one the best thing ever in the world. And then it kind of, most people think that like ACT and SAT score kind of firms the students' logical, whatever, way of thinking, and then kind of like a tool to determine the students' ability, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
Um, so things like that can be considered. And
With you. I think on the assignment level, there has to be complete restructuring because, like, I
Mhm.
remember when I went to University of Illinois, the type of assignments professor used to give, they were kind of Google proof, or I should say,
Right.
like they were designed in a way that even if I have Google access, I still need to work on it, and
Mm.
will be easy for the teacher to identify my original thoughts or my way of thinking. I think that's something
Mhm.
same required with AI, that uh, there's a complete restructuring of assignment. Again, with you, the definition of schools, even the assessment methodology has to change.
Mhm.
One single exam should not define the student overall. So
Yeah.
absolutely love your points. Last thing that I want to ask you, if there's
Ah.
one piece of advice that you have for the superintendents or principals in designing future ready programs, what should it be? I know AI is
Uh,
already discussed, but apart from openness to AI, what's
yeah,
your advice to them?
from my experience and the one key thing is to be listening to the students more and to be really open to the students. Um, Back in high school again, I would say that I was really fortunate to have like Mr. Cruz, right? Mr. Strickland, and even my school's principal, Mr. Fusto, who are really amazing people that who know how to listen to the kids around, try their best to understand their perspective, right? Because like again, kids have different perspective, and with kids coming from different countries, there comes even more perspectives and cultural, you know, views and things like that. So just be ready to listen and try to understand and be really open. There's like no right or wrong in terms of like kids thinking about situations around them. And I feel like that kind of point there, like there's no right or wrong, it's really important to help shape the kids to the right path for the future, right? Some kids might think making money is bad,
Hmm.
like it's greedy, but some kids might think, well, money is important, right? Some kids might think like art, it's a waste of time. But then some kids might think like doing art is like creative, it's relieving, it's amazing. And so there's like no right or wrong answers. And it's really important for people to give kids the chance to talk and listen to them, understand them, um, so kids can have the right choice moving forward.
No, I love that answer. I think
Mhm.
all the question that I have is something that's on top of mind of every school leader right now. And listening to your perspective
Mhm.
definitely should definitely help them. And thank you so much for your time,
Mhm.
Adoy. And
Yeah,
wish
thank you,
you
Avinash.
all the best
Yeah.
for your all your upcoming projects and
Mhm.
companies that you want to build. And it
Yeah.
was lovely having you.
Yeah, thanks again for giving me the opportunity to chat. And it's been a great conversation. I would say like it's been a really eye-opening conversation. So I've learned so much from you. And I really hope that like my conversations and my voices are spread and basically being helpful and beneficial for school people. So they now have like a student perspective. Again, the table has turned. Um, but yeah, I really hope that like my perspectives are considered and then
No,
people really
absolutely.
think of it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.